Namaste. Namaste. Let's go live on another bicycle live stream on Sunday, January the 27th at 7:19 a.m. I've ridden 30 kilometres and it's really warming up quite a lot now. It was pleasant first up this morning. I was down the beach at 4:30 this morning, went for an ocean swim. First one this year actually. So I've been pretty active so far this morning. Been up since before 4. So anyway, this morning's topic is don't ever be the selfish reason someone doesn't find themselves. Now I was listening to a song and that line came up in the song from Gold Coast singer-songwriter Jacob Lee, and I was like, that is brilliant. There is so much truth in that and it's so important. And it's dealing with relationship responsibility. So I want to expand on it and just talk briefly about it this morning. Because the thing that is consistent for everyone is that we all have different degrees of relationships from the moment we're born to the moment we pass away. And it's unavoidable. It starts from our first moment, our relationship, our bonding with our mother and our father, and then goes right through our life, of course, with our relationships with our other family members, with our friends, our neighbours, our romantic relationships, etc. And there is a responsibility in this consistent, most important thing that all of us have, is a responsibility, what I'm calling a relationship responsibility that comes with it. That means that there is a certain way, that certain duties, certain roles that we have, but we have to be aware that we have to come from the right intention and the right direction in our connection with others. And that line, don't ever be the selfish reason why somebody doesn't find themselves, really taps into the importance of the direction that we need to come from in our relationships with others. Because unfortunately, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a parent-to-child relationship, unfortunately, the majority of us do become the selfish reason why somebody doesn't find themselves. What do I mean by that? I mean that we try to imprint ourselves onto the other person. We try to get them to do the things that we want them to do for us. We don't give them the freedom to be themselves, and in not giving a person that freedom, we don't give them the freedom to find themselves. And what do I mean by find themselves? I mean on a spiritual level. I mean the absolute most important thing that we can be doing is finding ourselves spiritually, finding out who we really are, finding out what matters in life. And if in our relationships with others we're always trying to imprint ourselves onto them, if we're always trying to force our own agenda onto other people, it doesn't give them that room to breathe and discover. Because the mistake that most of us make is we pretend that we are the light, that we put this, this sign out there that says, follow me, I know what I'm doing. And rather than showing people where the light is, we actually pretend that we are. And what that does is that creates a world of lost people, the blind leading the blind, the person pretending that they are the answer, and then the person following them because they're convinced that that person has the answer. Our duty, our role is to point the way to the door. It's to point the way towards the light, to be a guide, to be an ambassador of compassion, to allow people to gently find the right direction when we show them what the right direction is, and allow them to open the door themselves. We give them the tools of success so that they become spiritually successful. So this is our duty, and if we are not doing this, then we are not fulfilling our role here of being of service to others. And that is the highest calling that we can have, is of being to service, and then that becomes a fulfillment for ourselves and becomes a leading the way for others. So what I ask of you is to keep in mind that we should never become the selfish reason why somebody doesn't find themselves. We should not enter into any relationship with the intention of it being something that's primarily self-satisfying, because that is just not honouring the freedom of the other person and their individuality and their ability to learn and to be directed into the right path so that they find what they need to know on a spiritual level. So we have to be very aware of this, that we have a responsibility, a relationship responsibility. Mother to child, the mother has a very delicate balancing act of allowing the child to learn on their own while still being guided with the wisdom from the mother. It's an art. It's something that some of us get right and some of us don't. This same thing happens in relationships. We have this very delicate balancing act between wanting our needs met and respecting and honouring the needs of the person that we're relating to. And we live in a very selfish society, and unfortunately what that translates to is usually I'm more important than you, the whole self-love horseshit thing. If you come from that place of thinking, then you're going to have a selfish, unsatisfying relationship. If you come from a spiritual place of thinking where you realize that the other person is an individual spirit soul, not there to please you, but there on their own spiritual journey, and it's your responsibility to help them as best you can, not to hinder them. So I'll leave you with that thought. Don't ever be the selfish reason why somebody doesn't find themselves. Point the way to the light. Don't pretend to be the light that you are not. Honour the spirit soul within, the beautiful, loving, kind, gentle, perfect spirit soul. And this way of thinking actually applies to veganism as well, because a vegan honours, as I was saying yesterday in yesterday's live stream, a vegan honours the right of all living beings to live. So this is an extension of that. We're honouring all the other areas as well. So thank you for watching. I hope this gives you some food for thought in your relationships. And remember to live vegan and save lives. Ahimsa.